There's a moment in healing when you realise it wasn't you. It was the rules that you were trained to follow. Rules that kept the family system stable by keeping you small. If you've ever struggled to understand why certain patterns won't let go, this video will help those pieces fall finally into place. Hi everyone, I'm Jill. For 25 years I've been a psychotherapist, helping people understand their inner worlds and heal old patterns. That's what I explore on this channel. If you're back again, thank you for being here, and if you're new, welcome. I'm happy you found us. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps more than I can say. So let's get into it. How to unlearn the narcissistic family rules that you were taught. In the last video, we walked through the 9 unspoken rules that you had to follow that exist in many narcissistic households. Today, we are going to talk about how you unlearn these rules so you can finally break the cycle. This isn't about shame or blame, it's about clarity, healing, and reclaiming your sense of self. You cannot change the past, but you do hold the power to soften its impact. That power lies in recognizing the narcissistic rules that shaped you and releasing them and replacing them with ones that you consciously choose. Rules that reflect who you are, not who you were told to be. Your chosen rules that inform your life or even your parenting if you're a parent. Let's begin. Rule number 1, your feelings don't matter, only others do. So the unlearning here is that you need to reclaim your emotional space. In narcissistic families, your parents' emotions dominated the household. Clients have often said things to me like, I learned early that my emotions cause problems, so I just stopped showing them. This can also push you to shut down emotionally, to disconnect from what you feel and numb yourself just to cope. Unlearning this rule means naming your emotions, reconnecting to them. Now, if this feels scary, which it might, try and step back as if you are seeing them from a distance, from an observer position, so you can gently get in touch with them without being bang in the middle of them. Allow yourself to feel without shame and connect with people who validate your experiences, your emotions, people who are on the same wavelength as you. And ask yourself, what do I feel? What do I need? Reawakening your capacity to recognize your needs. My advice is just start by meeting your own needs. For example, if a narcissistic family member escalates a calm conversation into conflict, you might choose to pause and step away. Your emotional experience matters. Rule number 2 in narcissistic households, keep the peace no matter what the cost is. So to unlearn this, we need to choose truth over silent compliance. Growing up, being honest could probably feel dangerous, unsafe, not okay. If you became the peacemaker, you will know the cost to you and your authenticity. But that peace wasn't real peace. It was suppression, an agreed or forced reality about what you are told is true. So the unlearning looks like telling small truths safely. Start small with baby steps. Letting others sit with their own discomfort. Now that's a skill that many of us have to learn. And it's one that requires building your ability to tolerate other people's discomfort. A bit like building a muscle in the gym. It may feel stressful at first. It probably will feel stressful at first. But with consistent practice, it will gradually become more manageable and more natural for you. Accepting that conflict is not danger can you give conflict a new meaning, such as conflict is just sometimes necessary, and it can be held with steady calmness and a deep-rooted sense of safety. Letting truth matter more than appeasement. Perhaps calling out if your boundary has been breached. That's really important. And beyond that, it's your right. Peace without truth isn't peace. It's merely an illusion. Rule number 3 in narcissistic families: admire, do not compete. So the unlearning is allow yourself to shine. Narcissistic parents want admiration, not competition. So when you succeed, they might feel threatened. So you could have learned to dim your light, to make your achievements small. So to unlearn this, celebrate your wins, regardless of others' responses. Stay with the evidence. For example, you got a promotion. Fantastic. You got a promotion. That's a fact. It's unmovable. Accepting praise without deflecting. Practice accepting praise or a compliment without brushing it off. Many women in particular find this difficult. You know, like if you get a compliment like, oh, your hair is lovely today, and we might answer with, oh, it needs washed. Or, I love your dress. You might say, oh, it's really old. But you know, by doing that, you're almost returning a gift that you've been offered. Try letting the praise or compliment land. Accept the compliment and respond with a genuine thank you. Surround yourself with people who want you to shine, that enjoy your triumphs as much as their own. Practice standing fully in your accomplishments. Strong, quiet assurance that is non-negotiable. Your success is not a threat. It is allowed to exist. Rule number 4, obey without question. So the unlearning is about rebuilding your autonomy. Obedience was treated as love. It's one of the rules of engagement. Questioning anything might have been seen as disrespectful. As an adult, you might still feel unsafe saying no. To be perfectly honest, saying no might make you really stressed. But don't let that stop you taking this vital step. So unlearning looks like making decisions without seeking permission, saying no without over-explaining, accepting that disagreement is not betrayal, honouring your personal boundaries. You are allowed to hold them. Autonomy is not rebellion, it's adulthood. It's normal and it's healthy. Now, just before we move on to the next rule and the next unlearning, if you want to go deeper than this video, I've made a free PDF of worksheets that walk you through each of these 9 narcissistic family rules with guided questions. It's designed to help you process your experiences and identify where the rules show up in your life and start breaking those patterns step by step. Grab it below. It's a powerful tool. It's free and the link is in the description. Okay, rule number 5 in narcissistic families: the family's image comes first, full stop. And the unlearning: honour your reality over the illusion. In narcissistic families, there can be a real obsession with appearing perfect. Everything messy gets buried. How the family looks behind closed doors is often very different than the image presented to the outside world. In the previous video, I mentioned a client saying that on the surface, they looked like the perfect family. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I will put it in the link in the description. No, I'll put it in the link at the end of this video. You might have learned to smile for family photos even after a screaming match to protect the image. So to unlearn this, you need to start telling the truth in safe spaces with safe people. Accepting that perfection isn't required and it's also impossible. Let your real life be visible, even if it's a bit messy. Just imagine how it would feel to be unapologetically you. Oh, and refuse to protect false narratives, false stories. A calm, emotionally neutral response like, I don't agree with that, is a sign you are taking your own power back. Authenticity is healing. The truth doesn't ruin families. It reveals them, to be honest, and it invites them to change if they can take it. Rule number 6, love must be earned. So the unlearning is practicing receiving unconditional support and love. Love in narcissistic families is often transactional. You get affection only when you're useful or impressive or good. So unlearning this, let yourself be cared for without earning it, just because you are worthy of it. Then receive it graciously and enjoy it. Accept kindness without any need to repay it, and offer yourself compassion when you struggle. Understanding that love doesn't have prerequisites is an important one. You are worthy without performing. You are worthy just as you are. Rule number 7, don't outshine or outgrow the parent. So the unlearning is allow yourself to evolve. Narcissistic parents often sabotage the independence of their children or young adults because their growth threatens the parent. So unlearning this looks like pursuing your goals unapologetically. And maybe expect that you will receive guilt, but continue on your own path anyway. Accept that outgrowing dysfunction is actually healthy. Let your life expand beyond the family system. Your growth isn't rejection, it's self-respect. It's you growing into your true self. Rule number 8, you are responsible for the parent's emotions. So the unlearning is about returning that emotional responsibility back over to its owner. You were conditioned to manage someone else's moods, and this can create a real hypervigilance, an emotional kind of over-functioning, always checking how others are. So to unlearn it, notice when you absorb others' feelings. Cloak yourself in your imagination in a beautiful light that blocks any toxic feelings so that you can be around others and be protected. Say to yourself, their emotions do not belong to me, and they're not yours. They are not yours to hold, to absorb, or to make better. Practice being supportive without rescuing, and allow adults to manage their own discomfort. You are not an emotional container for others. And the last rule, never talk about the family. So in unlearning this, it requires we break the silence. You know, silence keeps dysfunctional systems alive. If you aren't allowed to tell the truth, it can feel very hard to even contemplate breaking the silence. So here's how to start doing that. Speak with safe, supportive people about your life, about your rules you're creating. Tell your story to a therapist. Acknowledge your reality. Rely on the evidence. Rely on the facts. and release the shame that was never yours. Lay it down. Take it off like a scratchy sweater that you never want to wear because it's not you and it's unpleasant next to your skin. Bin it. Bin the shame. Breaking silence is the beginning of healing. This does not need to be loud or angry. You know, it can look like quiet assurance, standing in your own power. These rules shaped you, but they do not define you. Unlearning them isn't rebellion, it's recovery. You deserve to be able to protect your emotional space, to hold your own truth, to exercise your autonomy, to grow and evolve, to experience the joy of unconditional love and support, and to experience freedom. You might well feel scared or agitated or anxious when you start with even small changes. I know I did. But with practice and repetition, they start to become your new operating system, your rules of engagement that you choose for your life. This is your right. This is your peace. This is your life. So here's my question to you. Which unlearning might be the next best step for you to start with? Which might help you stick your toe in the water of change and healing? And please let me know in the comments. If this video resonates with you, please consider liking it. And you might also like the previous episode. This one's based on the 9 unspoken rules in narcissistic families that you lived by without knowing. And please remember to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And lastly, the free guide I talked about earlier is linked in the description. It's there to support you as you keep unlearning these rules and make your life on your own terms. Thank you for being here. And until next time, you take extra good care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.